Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Rochelle and I'm a holistic wellness and relationship coach. So let's talk about three big things people get wrong about gender, sexuality, and relationships. So before we get into the three biggest myths when it comes to gender, sexuality, and relationships, I want to make sure that I put this out there. Remember that an intelligent person is able to tell the difference between their worldview, their beliefs, their personal experiences, and facts. Myth number one, that young men, if they want to increase their chances of being faithful in a committed relationship, should have a higher body count before commitment. This is a myth because the number one determining factor in whether or not someone cheats in a committed relationship is directly correlated with the number of partners they had before the committed relationship. And that goes for both men and for women. Myth number two is that women become emotionally attached to the men that they have sexual relationships with. This is actually a myth. The determining factor in whether or not someone becomes emotionally attached after having a sexual relationship with someone is called sociosexuality. And this basically means how distinct you believe sex and love are from each other. So it's, do you think sex and love are interconnected with each other, or do you think they're two completely distinct factors? And this goes for both men and women. So again, your sociosexuality means the belief that you have of how distinct love and sex are from each other, or if you believe that love and sex are interconnected with each other. Myth number three is that men have a higher desire for physical intimacy than women. This is a myth because we have to differentiate the difference between desire and safety. So how often do men feel unsafe by being alone with someone they don't know that well when it comes to a sexual encounter? Now reverse that. How often does it happen for women where they feel safe having a sexual encounter with someone that they do not personally know very well? So the question is about, do I want to do this, which would mean desire, versus do I feel safe doing this, which would be about safety. So a lot of times women make a decision to not be physically intimate with someone because of safety concerns, not necessarily because they lack desire for that person. So if you want to find out how likely someone is to cheat on you in a relationship, there are three things you can look for. Number one, how many people they were with prior to committing to you, because again, the number of partners someone had before a committed relationship is directly correlated with their likelihood that they're going to cheat. That's whether you identify as a man or a woman. That's number one. Number two, there's sociosexuality, which means what is their belief when it comes to sex and love? Do they believe that love and sex are completely distinct things from each other? Or do they believe that sex and love are interconnected with each other? And the third thing you want to look for is the number of dark triad traits that this person has. So the dark triads are narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. So how do you tell the difference between these three things? So here's a quick, easy little test to keep in mind when you are dating someone, if you want to see how many dark triad traits they might actually have. So what you want to ask yourself is, how many of these statements would the person I'm dating actually agree with? And you want to absolutely find evidence for it. So the first one would be, I like to be the center of attention. This would be a marker of narcissism. Number two, to succeed in life, now and then, you need to be willing to get others to do what you want. That would be indicative of Machiavellianism. Number three, when necessary, I can do what needs to be done without feeling remorseful. This would be indicative of psychopathy. So if you're dating someone and they strongly agree with number one, two, and three, you might just be dealing with someone who has a high amount of dark triad traits. And this will likely increase their chances of cheating in a relationship with you. So remember, if you found this information to be helpful, remember to like, subscribe, leave comments, and make sure to share the information with your friends and family. Thank you.